アリスフィクション
Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Kilva with another banner review video on AliceFiction. So we got a brand new collab event in AliceFiction with crashfever, which if you don't know is another long-running game by Wonder Planet, the developers of AliceFiction. So we have a bunch of new art assets, including this new login screen, which I think is fantastic. And I also believe that crashfever is running an AliceFiction collab as well simultaneously. So if you're new, welcome, and if you're being introduced to crashfever for the first time, also welcome. But without further ado, let's get started. So as per usual with new events, we do have a bunch of limited time missions, and I think Intern Kun messed up here because when I logged in earlier today at reset, I was able to redeem all 25 plus limited time missions basically immediately. They were already marked as complete when I logged in, and I had completed all of the event missions that were required for it, and I just collected it. So if I have some time, I'll add a video footage of that here in the corner somewhere. But my guess is that they probably messed up in the coding somewhere, and they were counting the previous events completed missions instead of this new event. And yeah, so basically it was free quartz and credits, EXP, and chips. So I think there were about 3,000 quartz or so. So do enjoy that. And I think I saw a bug report out on that recently, actually. And so they're not going to be recalling any of that. And I think it's just because everybody's going to get it anyways if they play over time. So, feel free to collect those. No worries. And so for our collab event, as you can see here, we have a whole slew of new world memories, as well as the two new collab exclusive 3-star characters, which I just quickly brushed past, Noah and Darwin. And both of them have some really, really unique abilities in their kits, and that makes them really good. So I'll just say it straight up here before we deep dive into those kits for the world memories and characters. But the world memories, they look nice and they're okay, but they're not a priority for free-to-play and those with limited quartz. And also, I do think that the world memories may not be limited or exclusive based on the wording in the announcement. So I'll double check that in the actual banner details in a bit. But I also want to note that we do have 30 free pulls given out at 10 pulls per day that we can use on any of the collab banners. So if you want to optimize your pulls and you can resist going all in on the first day, then you're going to want to wait until you have all those pulls done before you use your quartz, right? Because you never know, maybe you'll get lucky and you'll be able to get the banner units with those free pulls and you'll be done, right? So then you don't have to use any quartz and you can save it up for the next Alice Fest banner or what have you. For myself, I'm probably going to be doing pulls at the end of this video or towards the end of this video, and I'm probably just going to do one character and then I'll use the rest of the pulls on the other character. But yeah, so in the bug section, yep, so they noticed here that those limited time missions were being completed automatically, and so yeah, they're not going to collect those rewards back from us. So go ahead, feel free to claim them. And then why I think the world memory banners are not exclusive is because of the wording. So if you notice, if I go over here to the new collab announcement, it says new collab world memory featured gacha, but it doesn't have the word exclusive anywhere in the title or in the description. They just say, collab world memories in this world memory featured gacha and tell you about the drop rates. And there's 4 new world memories. By the way, the art is fantastic. So that if you're a collector, I guess you can, go for that. But really, if you're free to play or limited in quartz, don't pull. So you might be able to consider using some quartz on them because I bet the event might have a bonus for using those world memories, as per usual. But anyways, if you read here the first line, it says, "A scholar slumber, right into the night, genius of legend, and blessings of the god, all may reappear in future gachas." Okay, so first off, that tells us that if it's not going into the normal pool, then it's probably going to come back on a rerun. And because this is crashfever, which is also by the same developers, Wonder Planet, so we know that they're probably going to come back again, right? So that's something to consider. And then the next thing is that, again, there's no mention of the word exclusive here. And I clearly remember that on the Miku banner, the World Memory banner, it said Collab exclusive World Memories. So that's the difference in that terminology there. So I don't know if this is, maybe they just forgot it in the translation or something like that. But that's something that I would consider, is that maybe these aren't exclusive to the collab. And in any case, if you're free to play or light spender, probably wouldn't go too hard for the world memories. It's kind of hard to get those, and you need those to be MLB to be really be worth your time. So let's talk a little bit about the two collab units, which are Noah and Darwin. So in this, it says in the second sentence here, the limited time characters Noah and Darwin are making their way to the world of Alice. So it says limited time here, and then in the title it says 2 collaboration exclusive character gachas. So that's why I think the world memories may not be limited to these collab banners, but the characters are, because the characters, they have that terminology where they say exclusive. I do want to note that, and then also they do say limited time, right? They also say, let's see, I think somewhere towards the bottom here. Yep, so in the disclaimer it says Noah and Darwin may appear again in future gachas. So that terminology is the same with the World Memory banner, but the World Memory banner doesn't say exclusive or limited time. So again, I'm not 100% sure. I don't remember what the Miku unit banners exactly said. I do remember that the collab world memory banners for the Miku collab did say exclusive, so that's some difference in terminology. Alright, so enough about the technicalities of the announcements, but let's dive in to the banners and talk about what I think about them, about their kits, and who I think that they would be good with and why. So let's go in. As you can see, we have 10 free pulls already. I'll probably be spending that a bit later after I talk about this. So we do have a paid banner again, and I know that the collab units are on the display here, but just remember that they're not guaranteed. I mean, you're guaranteed a 3-star, but they're just part of the pool of all the 3-stars are in it. So you're not guaranteed just Darwin or Archimedes or Joan, which are what show up on the banner. That's pretty standard for most gacha games, but just putting it out there in case anyone's not familiar with that. So let's start with the world memories, okay? So I already stated my opinion on this. Don't pull if you don't use quartz to pull if you are a free-to-play or light spender / low on quartz. They're good world memories, but not really worth going all in for. So first up, let's talk about this Scholar Slumber. So it's a special attack world memory, gives 19% special attack on base stats, which is pretty good. And then it boosts special attack by 18%, and when HP is above 15%, it deals additional 28.6% to weaker types. And when there are 2 or more water allies, for each water ally, it boosts special attack by an additional 14.3%. So this is a pretty good world memory, especially if you are using a water team setup. And Noah, who is a water type buffer, is probably going to be a staple in special attack teams, so you're going to always have that one water ally on your special attack team probably. So if you have run 2, that's automatically 28% there, plus the base, which is 18%, so that's like 41%, plus the base stats, which is 19%, so that's about 60%, and then you deal another 28% of additional damage to weak types. So this is basically an upgraded version of, what was that world memory called? Project Wonderland. So that was the free welfare world memory that they gave us with a bunch of special attack boosting and weakness advantage. But that weakness advantage is less than what this one gives. Of course, this is a gacha world memory, so we do expect that it should be better. But yeah, so to me it's just a better version of that. So it is a good world memory, but it's not, to me it's not game breaking in any way. It is strong though. So let's talk about the next world memory, which is Ride Into the Night. More great artwork, by the way. So also 19% special attack on base raw stats, and then when special attack is buffed on that unit that has it equipped, the the crash skill damage buff given by self increases by 36%, and on top of that it lengthens panel breaking phase by 1.5 seconds. So this is pretty good. The only other world memory I remember that gives crash skill damage buff up is the 4-star world memory from the previous banner, but it didn't give anywhere close to this much. Not anywhere close to 36%. So this would probably be really good for Noah, who has crash skill buffing on her kit. And maybe I should have gone over the units first, but anyways, this is pretty good, but again, it's nothing. I wouldn't say it's meta changing, right? It is a good world memory though. Crash skill damage buff up is definitely welcome, and the panel breaking phase by 1.5 second increase is also really good, because right now the ones that we do use that give additional time is probably going to be the free welfare ones that give the defensive boost to an element. So that would be like Minato's gift, which is light element defense, or defense against light elements, and then the other one we got recently from the last event, which was I believe dark element. So yeah, this is pretty good, and it's an offensive option of that, so it is superior to what we have. But again, I don't recommend pulling on this banner unless you have extra quartz to spare. And then the 4-star world memories, don't really want to get too deep into this, but basically it boosts special defense, or not special defense, it boosts physical defense per special attack type ally on the field. So I'm not sure really where this might be good. It could be good on some specific bosses that are physical type and we need special typing to defeat it. So an example of that would be the last title EX stage, where we had to fight two of those man, I call them one punch mans, but they're the pinatas from the last event with Frisia. But yeah, that might have been helpful there. It might also see some good use in Arena if you're using a spec team to defeat a Fizz team. For example, something like if you see one of those Ushi teams, and they probably are using strongest pair to defense buff your team, then this might help offset that if you're using a special attack team into that. But I don't know why you could do that, and if you have this world memory, it might be useful there. Anyways, I'm not really sure where else this might be useful at this time, but it looks decent. It's a 4-star world memory. And then the last one is Blessings of God. It is a purely defensive world memory for Fizz defense. So it boosts Fizz defense, and then it lengthens panel breaking phase by 0.6 seconds. So really interesting artwork here. I think that's, I actually don't know what character that is. I don't play crashfever, so. But yeah, if you guys know who this is, let me know. Alright, so that's enough about the world memories. Again, if you do have tickets, as you can see I only have 7, but if you do have tickets to use, you could consider using some here. I wouldn't, it's not really a priority world memory banner, but if you want to spend some tickets, I think it's okay to do so. And the reason I think that is because you can use that for the event bonus on the current event stages. So let's go talk about the characters now. So let's talk about the Darwin first. And I'm basically prioritizing the banners from what I think is least important to most important. So I'm saving best for last, if you guys don't already noted that. But let's talk about Darwin. She is a special attacker light unit, and the only other special attacker light unit I can think of off the top of my head is a 4-star unit, and that is Nietzsche, right? So Nietzsche is pretty good, especially for a 4-star special attacker, but I think Darwin is better, which makes sense because I mean Darwin's 3-star. But let's talk about her kit. Yep. So first thing you notice is that level 120, grade 10, 5-star status. Okay, so this is her stats at 120. So her crash is 36k to 1 unit. Now that is really low. If you remember Frisia from the last banner, she did damage to 2 units, and I think at level 120 she did, I want to say 60,000, maybe it was 50 something thousand, but I think it was 60,000 damage to 2 units. So considering Darwin is a single target crash skill damage, 36k is really low. Like honestly, like even if it was 50k, I think that would probably still be among the lowest for single target crash skill damage. And she's not like a buffer or a recovery unit or something like that, right? She's an attack unit. So more on why this is the case in a bit. You probably already know. It has to do with her passive skill. But let's talk about her skill 1 first. So environmental adaptive evolution, 3-turn cooldown, and for 1 turn she decreases the needed panels to create a skill panel by 1, and for each one of selected allies panels absorbed, max of 9, she boosts her special attack by 977 for 2 turns. So this is pretty good, right? Because if she has max panel absorb, then that's like a almost 10k. It's like 8k. 8.1 plus what, 63, so that's like 8.7, 8.8k. So it's pretty good. Am I doing my math right? Yes, I think I am. So yeah, 8.8k of boosting without buffs. So that's pretty good if you can get 9 panels. You probably usually won't get 9 panels unless you're running some other unit that also has a panel conversion skill to solve. And then you use Darwin to absorb that. But you know, 8.1k is pretty, or not 8.1k, 8.8k is pretty good. But I think the most important part here is that unique mechanic that we haven't had any other unit had so far, is that she reduces the number of panels needed to create a skill panel by 1. So normally when you make a skill panel or to level up a skill panel, and by skill panel I'm referring to the crash skills, you need to have 3 orbs together or 3 panels together of the same color. You pop it and then it creates a skill panel, right? So level 1, and then if you pop a level 1 with 2 other of the same color, then you get level 2 and then to level 3, right? So with this, you only need 2 instead of 3. So that significantly reduces, you know, how much the time it takes for you to level up your crash skills at the beginning of a match. And usually the first turn of a match or a round, your damage output is usually low because you can't get your crash skills up. And if you're able to crash all of your units with high level crashes, then your damage output is going to be pretty good, right? So this is really useful because 2 versus 3 is huge. And you do have a limit in the number of panels you can break per turn, so this allows you to get around that. So I'm not 100% sure, but if this applies to every single unit on the team and not just Darwin, then this is a really good skill, and this is what makes me think Darwin is top tier. Maybe not the topmost, but because of this utility boost that she has, I would put her, you know, maybe low S minus or something like that. on a scale from C to S, S plus, right? So I would probably put her at S minus just because of this ability, right? Like being able to get level 3 crash panels for all of your units on turn 1, if you're really good and have enough time, is impressive. And I think without this ability to reduce that from 3 panels to 2 panels for crashing, you wouldn't be able to do that at all. So let's go to the next skill. So her second skill is an Observer's Jest, also a 3-turn cooldown. She converts regular panels of self up to 1 to level 3 skill panels of self, and for 2 turns she boosts her special attack by 1.1k. So this helps her to immediately get level 3 crash skill panel, and again we just talked about how important it is to get those skill panels up in the first turn. So I do want to note that on the skill 1, that buff only lasts for 1 turn, right? So that's why it's, you know, not why she's not like S plus or a must-have pool. It's because it's only 1 turn, but that 1 turn is that you can use on turn 1, and that allows you to set up level 3 crash panels for everybody, and that could significantly increase your damage output already. And then from turn 2 on, as long as you have a level 3 crash panel popped, you get 1.5 skill multiplier every single turn. Whereas if you only had a level 1 panel, it would only be 0.8. So that makes a huge difference, right? So this really good, that level 3 skill panel boosting. And then the special attack boost it's kind of meh. It's just 1.1k, which is better than nothing, right? But it's still nice. So the reason why this is so important though is because it all ties into her passive, and this is also why her crash skill is only 36k. It's because her passive is when there are 2 or more light allies, for each self level 3 skill panel broken up to 14 panels, she boosts crash skill by 19.14%. That's huge, right? That's huge. There's nothing really else for me to say about it. But that's 190 plus what, about 80, a little bit less than that. So it's about 260% crash skill damage boosting if you hit max. And it would take you some time normally to hit 14 panels of level 3 crash skills, but because she's able to get 1 level 3 panel on turn 1, and then you can use her skill 1 to reduce the requirement for continuing that level 3 panel from 3 to 2 panels. And then if you use some kind of world memory that boosts or increases the chance of her own panels increasing, like that's huge. Like it won't be too hard for you to get this up to 14 panels on turn 1 or turn 2. Turn 1 might be difficult, but I think it is possible if you use both of her skills, and then you have some kind of ability that boosts her panels for appearing. Then you'll probably be able to get 14 pretty easily. Turn 1, right? But most likely, even if you do have some kind of skill panel appearance boosting world memory or skill that does that, probably turn 2 is what we'll probably expect. But you should be able to get, you know, pop at least 4 or 5 times on the first turn, especially with these 2 skills. You should probably be able to do more than that, but I'm just gonna say you're gonna be able to do at least 5 times or whatever. And that allows you to boost her crash skill by 100%, which gets up to 72k, which isn't great again, considering all the work that goes into getting a 72k crash on turn 1, but it becomes passable or reasonable, right? And then after that, if you can get it up to 250% plus, then, you know, now we're doing over 100k for your crash without including any other boosts, which is including the special attack bonus that she has. So she's pretty good, okay? You know, she is limited by the fact that her crash skill is so low, but there's a reason why they made her so low, and it's because she's offset by this. She's basically like Longinus, but she's special attack version of it, and I think she is better than Longinus. And the reason I think she's better than Longinus is because her skill 2 has that bonus utility, and if it works for other allies as well, I think that makes her a game changer in that sense. As for her personal attack ability, I don't think it's too high because she is limited by that low crash skill damage, which is offset by her passive, but it takes a little bit of time to ramp up, right? Probably turn 2 is when you can expect to start hitting high damage numbers, whereas other units are probably doing it earlier on turn 1. So that's her weakness there. I'd probably give her a S-. I think she's a really good unit. If you have cores to spare, I would pull for her, but she's not the best unit here. So that's what I think. And then the next banner we have here is for Noah, who is a water special buff type unit. And this is the unit, in case you didn't realize already, that I think is a must pull, or you should prioritize out of all of these banners. Noah is really good. So here's why, right? Let's look at her skills. So inflict 21k of damage, which is low, but it's to 4 enemies. So she does is AoE. So it's technically 82k if it's team-wide, but you know, if it's a boss or whatever, you're only doing 21k damage. And then for 2 turns, increase crash skill damage of attack type allies by 44%. That is huge. Okay, and she's a buffer, so I didn't expect her damage to be high anyway, so that 21k is perfectly fine by my standards. That's okay. What's important here is that she does 44% of crash skill damage boosting for attack allies. And normally we like to run 2 attack type units on our team if possible, right? Or maybe 2 debuffers. But, you know, regardless, 44% boosting is huge on that crash skill. So she's really good. And then if you remember, we also have the new world memory, or the 4-star world memory from the last banner, that increased the crash skill damage buffing. So you can improve this even more. And then her skill 1 is for 2 turns, and it has a cooldown of 4, so you'll probably get about 3 turns in a normal match, because it normally lasts 5 turns. So pretty decent uptime, but she does 27, or not she does, but the selected ally will do 27.9% more damage to weaker types, and you remove all damage reduction buffs on enemies, which, if you haven't noticed, a lot of enemies have had these types of damage reduction buffs. So this is really good. Yeah, we don't have any other type of unit that can do this right now. She's just a really strong buffer. And then her skill 2, she heals 12.7k for herself as well as a selected ally. So this is really similar to Genshi. And, you know, I don't know how useful this will be, but honestly, recently a lot of our content has revolved around controlling our HP in order to manipulate what the boss is attacking, because the boss is targeting units based on HP, either the lowest HP or the highest HP or something like that. And having this type of heal, I mean, it's just added utility. It's really good. So we can use that to help us to manipulate our HP values in order to control who the boss is targeting. So I do think this is really useful, and it heals both Noah herself as well as a selected ally. But I mean, her K is really good, right? Like, we don't have any other unit that does this. And then her passive, like Girl with Clairvoyance, when HP is above 50% and when there are 4 or more special type allies, so you're using a full spec team, attack type allies, all attack type allies will deal 21% more damage to weaker types. This is huge. So we have 21% from the passive, then you have another 28% from your skill 1. That's already 48% more damage from your attack unit, which is probably most of your damage. And then her crash skill gives another 44% for the crash skill damage. So that's like, yeah, it's just really good. Simply put, we don't have any other type of unit that does what Noah does right now, and Noah does it really well. She is, in my opinion, a must pull or a high priority pull. If you're pulling on any of these units or banners, Noah is the one to pull for. So yeah. I don't know. Let's talk about a sample comp with Noah. And honestly, what I would run, a default template setup I would run Noah in would be, you would run Merlin for your defense debuff, because Merlin has the most spec defense debuff out of all the units right now by herself, without requiring any other units to fulfill any conditions. So Merlin, then you would use New Year's Musashi as your buffer, and then you would use Noah as your second buffer, and then for the fourth slot you would use your elemental advantaged attack spec unit or other spec unit, whatever you have, right? But preferably you would use your elementally advantaged spec unit, because Noah skills revolve around dealing additional damage to weaker types, 21% and 28% respectively. That's really big bonus, so you do want to take advantage of that. So that would be a template team. And I didn't mention this earlier, but if you look at Darwin's skills, you will notice that her her passive requires 2 or more light allies. So she is a perfect slot in. If we have a dark type boss and spec is useful against that boss, then your team setup would be Merlin, New Year's Musashi, Noah, and then Darwin, right? So New Year's Musashi is a light type. She's also the best spec attack buffer right now in the game, in terms of pure boosting, and so that automatically fulfills this condition. So that's why it's a great setup, and I am almost 100% sure we probably have another challenge stage for this event. I haven't looked yet. That probably is tailored around these units, or like these units would be great for. Again, probably not. I don't know if it's a must pull for Darwin, right? We still do have Nietzsche. I do think Darwin's a lot better of a unit, and I think she is a good unit to pull for. But if you're limited on quartz, free to play, whatever, Noah is the unit to pull for. And yeah. So in conclusion, my thoughts on the banners for this collab event with crashfever: the world memories are skippable. You can use tickets on them to get some world memories for the event bonus boosting. And then the 2 exclusive collab characters, I would prioritize Noah and consider her a priority or a must pull unit, because her buffing is just that good, right? And then she's universal everywhere because of the way her skills work. I also think that Darwin is a very good pickup as well, thanks to her skill panel reduction ability. And for myself personally, I will try to get both, but I am prioritizing Noah first, and then I'm going to be using my free pulls on Darwin for the next 2 days after I pull Noah today. And then hope I get her, and then if I don't get her in those free pulls, then I would use quartz for Darwin, because to me she is pretty good as well. And I really think, honestly, the character art is just great, right? Like, I like it, so I want to pull for her. So that's what I'm going to be doing, and let's just get into the pulls now. So let's use my free pull, and I said on Noah, so we're going to do it. And you notice that I only have 43k, so I hope this is not going to be another painful banner review video where I pull and I don't get the unit. But let's get started. Another note on the crash skill buffing that Noah has is that there's only 2 other units that give crash skill damage buff up right now, and that is New Year's Musashi on her skill 2, and Goat, who gives I think 15% crash skill damage buff up. So both of those are also units that give crash skill damage buff up, but none of them give as much as Noah does. And Noah does it on her crash skill, so she's just a lot better in general. Didn't get anything. As you might notice that I can't really talk and pull at the same time. I always get sidetracked. It's like, oh no, I was hoping it was going to be a rainbow. It was not a rainbow. I also want to note that Noah, she is a spec unit, but you could possibly also use her on a physical team just for her crash skill damage buff. Skip this. And it is a rainbow. Please. Please. I don't know if any of you have watched my previous banner review videos, but I haven't been very lucky on them in any of my recorded videos. They've all been over, I think on the dodgy one, I didn't even get her while I was recording. I did over I think I had to do 130 pulls for her. And then on my other banner, I had to... I think this is it. I don't recognize this quote. Yes! Oh yes, thank you. So I got Noah. I also look forward to working with you, Noah. But yes, so I got lucky. I hope you guys also get lucky. So let me know whether you guys pulled or not. I got lucky and I got her in 30 pulls. I hope whoever is pulling, all of you pulling, I wish you guys the best of luck as well. Let me know if you guys pull her or not and what you think of their kits in the comments below. If you found this video interesting or helpful, share it with your friends and give the video a like and subscribe for more content. And I am going to be pulling on Darwin as well, but I'll probably be doing that on my own time because I'm going to be using those free pulls for the next 2 days, and then I'll binge with quartz on the rest. But I'm so happy right now that I got her because I got Noah, because I mean I don't have enough quartz for pity, right? But yeah, good luck to everybody. Thanks again for watching, and see you all in the next video.